Let me introduce myself with a very, first of all, thank you so much for joining in. There is a lot of people who have joined in from different parts of the world and also from Qatar. We are based in Qatar. My name is Dinesh, and I've been as a Power BI and artificial intelligence instructor with TeamAcademy for the last 4 years. I've been doing Power BI training program for the last 4 years and maybe more than 2.5 years on artificial intelligence. My specialty is that I have industry experience related to artificial intelligence and business intelligence. I've served as a project manager in Qatar Airways. Before that, I used to work in Microsoft and also with IBM, where I started my career. I'm an authorized training partner with Project Management Institute, CompTIA, and with other organizations, with Microsoft as well, of course. Let's deep dive. Let's jump into the program because there is a lot of things, exciting things to talk about in the program, right? So first of all, guys, I spent most of my career in terms of connecting technology with business needs. That's why when I define, is the definition which we have crafted from TeamAcademy, stating that, Power BI is helpful when you can make business decisions, right? So Power BI is a platform that helps executives to take informed decisions on the live data. There is a lot of story about Power BI, but precisely Power BI is all about data and business analytics, and we do that as part of the program. We do data and business analytics. If you look at the screen, if you look at this chart, you might have a simple understanding that yes, if Power BI helps in terms of enterprise decision making, how it enables that. Power BI solves a lot of problem. Like, let's say, for example, I'm visiting a lot of organizations to mentor on Power BI. I see people coming to me stating that there is bunch of weekly reports, there is bunch of daily reports, which gets scattered all across the place, and it takes me more than let's say 6 hours in a week to arrange my weekly report. And if I'm a finance officer, it takes a lot of time for me to consolidate and reconcile the daily expenses. Or if I want to actually do an analysis between the sales data versus the finance data, two different systems holding two different data sets, it's very difficult for us to actually map the data together and make business decisions out of it. So we got like multiple independent tech systems in today's scenario, right? If you talk about, let's say, in any firm, we have like hundreds and 500s of applications, right? When you talk about enterprise, we have thousands of applications. So the idea is that, when a chief executive officer is expected to decide, he's not making decision on one application. He's rather making a decision based on the consolidated data across the enterprise, right? It is pretty difficult to achieve this stage in terms of consolidating your complete organization data and getting to that core focus of what is the KPIs that is expected by my senior executives, right? Even though it's difficult, it's not that it's not possible to achieve. It happens through integrating multiple data sets together, working with Excel sheets, doing a better way of dealing with Excel sheets, doing data analytics for business decision making, right? So pretty much I focus the program towards the business aspect of it. I would say Power BI is a data analytics platform, but at the end of the day, your outcome is about business decisions. So we will talk about the common business problems that is faced by every organization. Like, let's say, for example, consolidating reports or presenting a dashboard which is live and realistic. We will discuss about all of these things, but I'll take you through the same story as we started. Let's say when I used to work in my previous firm, the KPI is actually what is the profit per passenger. If you would assume that any airline is making a very good profit, maybe you're right, but when you look at it from per passenger profit perspective, it is only $5 per passenger, $5 per pax. But in order to get this specific data, $5 per pax, it requires a lot of consolidation of data sets, right? It requires a lot of integration between core Excel sheets, or let's say I have one data set in SharePoint, I have other data set in Microsoft Excel, I have some streaming data from ERP application, and I have data from my Oracle Financial talking about the budget for that respective cost center. If I have to consolidate, bring them all together, only then I can derive this meaningful KPI of $5 per patch, right? So when I used to work, when I have worked with multiple scenarios, but there are so many interesting case studies that enable Power BI to automate pretty much a lot of things, right? So one of the case study where we were able to take the station data, we were able to look at more than 180 different network stations across the airline, stream the commercial data, stream the passenger data, stream the cargo data, stream the in-flight, the flight takeoff data, right? We were able to, the traditional way of how the reporting was done is that people send Excel sheets after Excel sheets in Outlook, and I have to organize my folders. I have to take Excel sheets back and forth. I have to work with calculated columns in my Excel sheet. And if I try to pivot them together, there are some aspects which is technically so deep, so I'm not able to get that thing done. And if I have to connect the data just between Excel sheets, I have to work with VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and a lot of other triggers as well. We have seen a lot of professionals from finance background. They're really good at Excel, but when we ask them a question, can you connect your SharePoint with Excel through VLOOKUP? The answer is no. We do see a lot of anomalies, or we do see a lot of gaps in the way how a financial analyst or a project management planner or an operations specialist is trying to stream the data and get to that point of taking decisions, right? So pretty much one of the scenario that I faced was that we had so many Excel sheets that is landing up in our Outlook inbox, and we need a better way to handle things. We had more than 20 people working in the team. The routine process is that they take Microsoft Excel, then cleanse the data, then again, put the data back into SQL, and again, then, do an Excel pivot table out of it and convert that to PDF and send it to the people. There are two problems out of this. Every week, someone or the other makes mistake. And it's a normal thing. Every week, someone or the other makes mistake. And the second problem is that if this data occurred on, let's say, 1st of October, or let's say 7th of October, I would receive the information only on 14th, right? The data is already 1 week old when it goes to the chief executive officer. So even if I take decisions, the decisions are based on the cold data, not on the hot data. We need to find out a solution at that point in time in order to look at the streaming data sets from so many different sources and then integrate it with a centralized platform. So here is where Power BI comes into picture. Power BI enables automation. Power BI enables people with moderate technical skills to perform advanced business analytics. This is one of the most important catch in Power BI. People with moderate technical skills can still operate with data and perform business analytics. This is one of the most important and core feature with Power BI. In your Power BI, you can actually go ahead and enhance your reporting visuals, right? So if you ask me what is the 3 core important aspects of Power BI, it reduces my workload by automating my weekly report, my daily report, my monthly report, and automatically the KPIs are displayed in a very clean visual. And even if I have very limited knowledge about VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and a couple of other technical stuff, you could still crack your problems or solve your problems with Power BI by using user interface related options, right? So learning Power BI is not about coding. It's not a data science program. It's a data analytics program. So we try to see the most easiest way to address the most complex problems, right? So that's the most important and the interesting part, right? So let's get started with some few examples out here and discuss about the lesson plan as well. So we get started with our training program from the basic induction class. I would be listening to each one of you, understand your profile, where you come from, what is your expectations, and then we will set the induction class in a proper way where I understand where the participants comes from, what is the challenges that they face with the data, what is the challenges that they face in terms of operating in an efficient manner for reporting and dashboarding purposes. So we will do a little bit about the induction, or I would say an analysis about the students' requirement as at the end of today's class. We will get started with Power Query. This is our module number 1. I would say rather than modules, these are the efficient skill sets that you could develop, right? The objective of module number 1 is to convert your unclean data into clean data, right? So sounds like, too much of theory. Let me just open my Power BI and get started with some practical examples out here. I'll also demonstrate for you some of the common business problems that we face. It's based on my, let's say, 15 years of experience in project management and operations and financial analytics, and with strategy, governance, and innovation. These are my core business functions in which I have implemented Power BI, and lately now with artificial intelligence as well. So let's look at some practical problems or practical scenarios in which we could effectively utilize Power BI. So this is how you get started. Power BI is just like your PowerPoint. It's one another Office application. You would save your file the same way as you do it in Microsoft Word. You would save the file the same way as your Excel workbook. But I would say Power BI is a lot better and easier than Microsoft Excel. A lot of people ask me a question: is it Microsoft Excel a mandatory step for me to understand Power BI? The answer is no. Microsoft Excel works with data. You can play with your cells and you can actually calculate your functions and formulas. You can drag and drop and you could derive at meaningful insights. But with Microsoft Power BI, you work with metadata. So what is metadata? Oh my God, I'm using a little bit of jargons, but I'll take you through the very basics over here, and then slowly we get started. We will, even if we go so deep into the program, we will go deep in terms of solving business problems. Like, let's say, for example, I want my KPI to be seen, which compares this year versus last year. I want to look at how I take the filters from one of the data set and apply on a specific business model, derive at a KPI. We will solve those business problems, but we'll do it in a step-by-step manner and understand the technical aspects of Power BI a little bit to make sure that we got that end outcome, right? I would say, when I say little bit, I will be showing you end-to-end about all of these aspects, but from a very simple perspective, right? Let's say click on get data, click on Excel workbook. Excel is like 99% of the time. I've seen people in the organization, trying to consolidate the data, trying to clean the Excel, trying to do a lot of things with Excel, but it takes a lot of time, isn't it? Let's say, for example, I have one of the students coming to the class. He told that he has been given with more than 12 Excel sheets with a lot of null data in between the rows and columns. And he told that I'm pretty much not able to do a lot of things which requires time and effort. Can you show me how to do it in an intelligent manner or in a very clever manner, I would say? Let's say, for example, over here, this was a case study that was taken by one of the students. Most of the challenges I face and I solve it is based on the business practical case studies that we hear from our students and the industry that I work here in Qatar. We have worked with Sidra, we have worked with Qatar Airways, we have worked with Manai, with Q terminals, with shipyards, with oil and gas firms, with a lot of firms here in Qatar. We are also currently working with the OSWS in terms of delivering a training program. So we see different varieties of problem. Now we got used to those problems. We see the common theme of problem across all the organizations. So I decided, let me put it across as a program and let's see how we can solve these problems, right? So one of the problem that we are trying to solve here is about I got a lot of null values in between my rows. As an analyst or as a strategic project manager, I don't have deep technical expertise or time to get this solved. So how can I get it done in an easier manner? You could easily click on the issue, the column which doesn't have a problem. Let's say January has a lot of problem. If you could see a small dash icon over here, you see a lot of problems. So the window that I operate over here is called as Power Query. This is the first step, right? Maybe in today's class, I will show you a bird's eye overview of all the functions and features with Power BI and with Power Query. But when we get to the class, we'll go to the ground basics and get started in a very slow manner. But you have to understand the capabilities of each of these tools. So I'll talk about it, and then we'll get to the fundamentals in the class, right? So what you could see over here is that 45% of the data is valid and 55% of the data is empty. And if I have to cleanse these data set, the common problem that people do is that they go and filter the ones which is with null values or without the null values, and they try to clean the data set, but it is a lot of time, right? So just click on the ones which is actually applicable, which is authentic, which is good. Click on transform and click on just unpivot other columns, and that's it. The problem is solved, right? All your null values are removed, and you could see that the attribute is nothing but your month name, and the values is nothing but the sales value or the data itself, right? So it's pretty easy for me to do this transformation. I would show it to you in the class more in detail, but as you could see, when you click on unpivot other columns, just with a simple click of a button, you are able to cleanse your data set, right? Let's say if I wanted to actually go ahead and rename the column, it's the same like Excel, but maybe we see a lot of commonalities between Excel and Power BI because Power Query itself is a shared data set, right? Shared tool between Excel and Power BI. But, Power BI connects to data model. Excel doesn't. We look at it slowly, step by step. Let's say if I wanted to, I have a lot of running data. I don't have time to look at it. Can you please aggregate this by month name? What is the total sales? I don't want to look at, let's say, the total aggregated value. If I want to just look at, can you please give me the total sum of value by month name? It is pretty easy for you to do your basic iterations, basic mathematic calculations, aggregations, right? Let's say, for example, you can calculate the average of the school mark, or you can calculate the sum of total sales if you're from the sales department. You can calculate the sum of your balance sheet running total from the row side and from the column side. You could do a lot of aggregation over here. Again, with just simple click of a button, right? So I click on sum over here and I choose which value needs to be summed and click OK. That's it. It's done. And let's say, for example, if I'm not happy with January, I just need JAN in capital letter. I can simply click on add columns and click on columns from examples. And what I could do is simply enter JAN and type MAR, and that's it. You got it, right? So now you could see that it's pretty easy in this specific context. I'm not learning the technical part in detail. Rather, I would type what I need, and Power Query is deriving the formula in the backend, right? So this is nothing but reverse engineering of what exactly you expect the system to do. You give some examples and the system actually calculates the formula for you. It's pretty smart. It's pretty clever because it could save a lot of time, because I've seen people struggling in Excel with concatenate formula, with mid function, with len function, and a lot of things, right? So that's what I told you, right? If you learn the first module, which is about the Power Query, it talks about how do you get the data from various sources, even though I gave you demonstration about getting the data from Excel, but there is a lot of data source from where you could get the data. I benchmark with Microsoft PL300 best practices for the data analysis program, but I give examples mostly from the business side, what I see and what I encounter as problems, right? So if you look at it over here, most of the users, they get the data from Excel, even though that's not the preferred choice. You could get it from SharePoint, you could get it from OneDrive. For example, if I have a OneDrive and I ask all the people to update the daily report in OneDrive, you can come to Power BI, just click on refresh. You got multiple people updating their weekly status report or daily status report in OneDrive. You come here, or the manager comes here, clicks on refresh, and he's able to see the latest data without going to OneDrive, without doing VLOOKUP, without doing HLOOKUP. So when you connect with online services, let's say, for example, a SharePoint list or Microsoft OneDrive, you could pretty much achieve a lot of efficiency and automation, right? So we'll be discussing about the different types of connectors and how to cleanse the data. This is our first module. Okay, guys, I hope you are with me. I'll slowly take you through the next step of the journey over here. So bringing an unclean data to a clean state, doing a lot of transformation over here enables your data to be consumed in Power BI. Remember that Power Query is not just in Power BI. It is also with Microsoft Excel. So you would learn Microsoft Excel, advanced Excel, without learning the advanced Excel formulas. That's how I would say Power Query in just one simple statement. Once you're good with Power Query, it is time for you to relate your clean data, because most of the time you don't get any management questions from a data set. You always get questions from multiple data sets. Like, let's say, for instance, I got my actuals recorded in my project management information system using a terminal where people enter the progress of the task. And let's say the schedule is maintained in the baseline plan within the same Primavera or with Microsoft project. But the cost center for that respective project or that work breakdown structure is coming from my financial system, which is Oracle. So I want to look at how much is the allocation of budget for this specific work breakdown structure and how much has been consumed. It could be another example where you got the resource pool available in your HRMS, in your SharePoint list, and you got the resource timesheets, which is actually from the project management. You want to look at how did you consume these resources, and the HR wants to process the invoice for those resources. Again, you got to connect data between multiple systems. That is when things gets confusing. Oh my God, how do I do it? It is very simple. It's not a big deal. When you learn data modeling, the word sounds like pretty much of a technical jargon, but data modeling is nothing but you architect your data. You kind of connect your Excel sheets together. It's simply like drag and drop your Excel sheets together, right? You would be able to create your model. This is where Power BI, I would say the first class of Power BI begins, because so far, Ibrahim, you could download your Power BI. Guys, thank you so much for asking questions in the chat window. If you would prefer to ask questions directly, you could do that as well. I have already shared with you the link to download Microsoft Power BI. I would also share with you the details about, let's say, we got like a couple of free e-learning notes as well. I can share with you the data sets. I can share with you on how you could get started with Power BI and stuff like that. Maybe after the program, you could leave your email address in the chat box so I can actually share that with you. We got a lot of repository. We got a lot of student data work, right? We have seen students preparing real good functional dashboards in our class, as you could see here. Some of our students really prepares good data set, good dashboards. Hi, dear. How are you? Very good. Little late, yeah? Yeah. No problem. We see a lot of participants in the online, so very few people in the face-to-face, but in our Fridays class, we do have a lot of people in the face-to-face and less people in the online. No problem. I'm just opening a simple dashboard to give you an example of how we can aim at preparing the dashboards, right? So guys, I'll show you a very simple example of a data set over here, which includes, let's say, financial analytics. Okay. This was actually a requirement from one of the small medium enterprise where they want to look at everything in one dashboard. We have people with different choices of visuals and varieties, right? I've seen people, executives who needs to see everything in one dashboard. And I've seen executives who wants to see each and every detail in a separate dashboard, right? Power BI can seamlessly address most of these concerns, most of these requirements, I would say. You got your current year, average, last 3 years of your data set. This is like a quick snapshot of my financial data. Let's say, for instance, if I want to integrate and if I want to look at my complete organization's project data, let's say, we got one of the requirements where in one of the organization, they have so many different projects. Okay, let's say like tens of projects. They wanted to look at all the projects together in one single window, which can consolidate the data sets together. So we have prepared, this is one of the oil and gas dashboard for a maintenance firm. It was actually about the drill pipe maintenance and things like that. So we got like different people coming from different domains, but at the end of the day, data is only in date, text, and number format. KPIs is nothing but your difference between what you have set as a target and what you have achieved. So pretty much common themes derive from the data analytics and business analytics part, right? If we address that common themes, we almost solve a lot of problems, right? Oh my God, I did not forget my password. Let me just click on enter. 1 minute, dear Vaishnavi. Okay, so what you could see over here is how you can share your dashboard with someone. Like, let's say, for example, you can share it as a mobile app view. You can share it as a URL. You can embed your data sets in embed your report in your browser or in your SharePoint website. Let's say company financial statement, you can publish it in your website, public website as well. So you've got different methods of creatively sharing your dashboards. I've seen people taking this data from here, putting it in PowerPoint. So your PowerPoint interacts with the dashboards, right? But at the end of the day, if you present what you need to present as per the expectations of the management, we almost solve most of the problems out here, right? So this is one of the department dashboard, which is one of the portfolio dashboard. So the idea here is that all the data from the project goes in over here, and we could see the project owner, the health status, and everything together. So how is it possible to bring all these data sets together and present a very clean dashboard over here, which talks about cost, it talks about schedule, we talk about the milestone, we talk about the risk, we talk about issues, resource availability. When you look at this dashboard, it looks really very clean. I mean, from the business perspective, it looks really objective to the point. But in order to get here, it is quite important to do a simple modeling, right? So that's exactly what we discuss in our next module, which is about data modeling. Once data modeling is completed, data modeling is all about connecting your clean data together so that I can derive at the KPIs. The next part is about your DAX function. So in what is called as DAX, DAX is called as data analysis expression. Usually I keep this module pretty simple. The reason being that now with Microsoft Power BI, we have the Copilot, which is enabled. Copilot is an artificial intelligence platform, which is enabled within Microsoft. So it is easy for you to derive your KPIs. Earlier, it was difficult for you to come up with KPIs. Let's say I want to get one data from finance, divide it by another data from sales. I need to manually pull all that Excel sheet and aggregate it. But now, with Microsoft DAX, what you could do is you could easily create built-in measures. There is a lot of measures, which is about year over year, what happens, month over month, what happens, what is the total month to date, what is the total QTD, how do I calculate the KPI per category. All of these things are possible over here. And even if you want to ask a question about your data, You could ask simple questions about your data as well. So these are all your AI capabilities within Microsoft Power BI. We will touch base on AI in a little good detail because it enables business users to get the things done without toiling too much on the technical part. Many people think that AI is technical. No, AI is for business users to make things easy, right? Let's say upload my Excel sheet and convert it as a chart for presentation. It automatically does that. So there's a lot of capabilities when you look at it in Power Query or with Microsoft Power BI from the AI perspective. So we will look into how DAX functions are done. So the link is not working. PBI download. Mr. Ibrahim, Microsoft Power BI is an open source. Okay. So you could go to as simple as this, how do you get started? Everybody is expected to have Microsoft Power BI installed on their laptop, right? So how easy is that to do? Just click on download Microsoft Power BI and just click enter. That's it. You can actually click on this. If at all you have Microsoft Windows, you would have a Windows store from which you can install it, or just click on this link, click on download. If you double click it, it will easily install it. There is no installation hassles. Once you install it, you would be able to see the latest version, just like what I could see over here. It's a basic canvas. It's nothing much in detail. It's not difficult as that of Excel. Why again I compare it with Excel? Excel is also too good. Excel is good for ad hoc calculation. It is for intelligent calculations between the cells. But if you want to do calculations between the data and do enterprise reporting or do reporting of multiple chunks together, then Power BI is the solution. Why? Because in Excel, you can connect between the cells. In your Microsoft Power BI, you can connect between the data models. You can, once you do the data model, you have multiple Excel sheets together. You've been struggling to actually do a VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP between Excel sheets. What you could do is you could simply connect all of these things together, not just Excel sheet, but for that sake, it could be anything that has a relationship, right? So let's say sales and HR or sales and finance, you could easily create relationships. So when you open Power BI, there are three simple screens, guys. Okay, so the first one is your report screen. Here is where I would say this is like your hall, okay, where you do presentations. So you keep and, greet your customers, you greet your managers, right? If I have to compare it with the hall, you need to keep it very clean, isn't it? You need to, so the aesthetics needs to look clean. You need to present meaningful dashboards over here. So this is your report view. If you click on this one, you get the table view. And if you open this one, you get the model view. That's it. Only three simple items over here. Model view, report view, and your table view. That's it. So in your report view, you are presenting the data in a beautiful manner. In your model view, you're connecting between the data. So I showed one example over here. This is one of the report that is done by my student, right? I can take the pride of my student. Likewise, I'll take the pride of yours as well when you complete your dashboard. I do see that at the end of the program, people prepare the dashboards and submit it. I've seen in a lot of scenarios where they complete it within the program, they are able to prepare the dashboard, which is the outcome. So let's say you could see that there is a good dashboard interaction over here. If you click on this model view, you are able to see that this data is not coming from one Excel sheet. It's coming from multiple Excel sheets, right? So again, I'm not going to show you how to do VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP and do complicated stuffs here. It's just like you want to connect these two stuff. You will just drag and drop the row index from here and drop it down here. That's what I meant by modeling, correct? Let's say you have your GL account code with the budget data, you have your GL account code with your expense data. You just connect GL account code and GL account code between two Excel sheets. Now two Excel sheets works together. Likewise, your enterprise data is somehow the other connected between each other, right? So if you want to do analysis for a department or for a function, I've worked on sales analytics, I've worked on financial analytics, I've worked on project management analytics. The core idea is we want to see everything related, and we want to be able to seamlessly navigate between the data. If I look at it, if I click on 2019, I get the data related to 2019, and 2018, automatically all this data gets changed, right? So let's say you have 10 Excel sheets, and if you click on one of the cell in one of the Excel sheet, how the 10 Excel sheets will change its data. I'm using Excel sheet as an example, but it is data source. How it is changing? It is changing based on the modeling. Okay, so first step, we learn how to get the data, then we clean the data, then we learn the modeling. Once we learn the modeling, we get to the visuals. Many people ask me, is visualization the last class? Yes, because visualization is the predominant or the most important aspect of your Power BI. But still, that's the last bit of it. I would say, if I have to keep it very crystal clear and straightforward, the first step is to clean. The next step is to connect. The next step is directly to visualize. That's it. Visualize. People also present it in different terms: extract, transform, and load. But, I would keep it simple: clean, connect, and visualize. Why I did not include DAX function? Because you're going to create DAX functions in order for you to visualize. So this is also part of visualization, right? These are the core modules in Power BI. But when you publish your dashboard, let's say, for example, if I want to publish it as a report, then you want to publish it as a link, then you will actually need to understand the components of Power BI. What is called as Power Automate, what is Power Apps, what is SharePoint. Sometimes what happens is that you got a SharePoint list. In that SharePoint list, you applied for leave. You don't want to take that SharePoint list unless and until that leave is approved. The moment the leave is approved, you want to see that in your Power BI dashboard. So that's pretty much like, more or less automated. Let's say, for example, you got a service request. You have a workflow. And one of the service requests, once it's approved, it will be present in your dashboard. I want to do automated and seamless reporting. In that case, we enable the components of Power BI. Components of Power BI includes your Power Query. Sorry, not Power Query. I would say, you see all the components here, but Power BI website, Power Apps, integrating AI in Power BI, and we'll also look at Power Automate. Power Automate is like, when this event occurs, this is what needs to be updated. So that's pretty much about your Power Automate. Taking a step back over here, even though visualization is the last class, this is one of the most important reason why Power BI exists. So you could create real good, stunning visuals over here with Microsoft Power, with your visuals. Let's say, this visual might not look attractive for you because it's one of the class exercise that we have been doing. I've quickly converted to look at the sum of total sales by, let's say, for example, category name. Let's say, for example, I have sum of sales, or let's say the sum of your revenue or sum of loss, whatever it could be. At the end of the day, it's a number, right? If I want to break down my number, there is a person who comes from the HR department. He wants to look at the data in a different way. There is a person who comes from the inventory team. He wants to look at the supply chain data. Let's say, for example, there is a guy who comes from the finance team. He wants to look at the finance data. Why finance? Because finance is really serious about things, right? So let's say if I break down the data over here, I just click on sum of total sales. If I want to break it down by category name, I got the category name over here. If I want to break it down by country, I can break it down by country. If I want to break down the country by employee name, so remember the trace over here, sum of total sales is total of 4 million. It's clearly divided into what does this 4 million contributes to. So if I break down the beverages, I can see this beverages sold in all these countries, and these are the employees who sold for that contribution. But if I'm coming from the employees or HR department where I want to look at the performance of the data, I look at employee name, and then I get started with, wow, Janet is the high performer for this specific month. If I want to apply a filter quickly, how did Janet perform last year versus this year? Immediately you get that visualization note. If I have, and this is done by the end users, pretty much we have Q&A visuals. We have these visuals. The end users can easily ask questions on the data. which otherwise would take a lot of time for them to cleanse the Excel sheet and prepare those data sets, right? So we will be discussing about the basic Power Query, the Power BI visuals. We'll be discussing about how you can enable drill through in your report. Drill through means that, you could simply, if I want to know the details about seafood, I click on seafood specifically. I want to know what has happened with seafood, maybe 14,000. If I click on this drill through, you could see the breakdown for that 14,000. So the idea is that Power BI not only enables your senior executives to take decision, but also you could get to the depth of any data that is supported in your dashboards. Correct. So guys, thank you so much for listening to me. I've been talking about the visualization, which visualization is the last class that we are doing. But today's class is an induction class. I just wanted to make sure that, okay, we got people from different countries, we got people from different domains. Just a simple expectation in terms of, I'm here for the class because I want to automate this. You could very simply give a one-liner introduction to the team so that we can look at how we can give examples in the training program and get started with. I have Aisha, Amira, Arun Ganeshan, Aisha again, Bong is my student, very good. Fatima, Hussain, Ibrahim, Malzan, Nazir, Shabi, Yasser, and I'm sorry, I could not read Arabic over here. And also I have two gentlemen over here in the face-to-face class. Hey guys, you want to get started by introducing?
Yes, my name is Praveen.
Praveen. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
so my name is Praveen. I work with Qatar Airways. To be more specific, I am in the finance department of Hamad International Airport.
Oh God, oh my God. You should have came little 10 minutes before the class. I was introducing more about Qatar Airways and a lot of case studies from Qatar Airways as well. In fact, we started with the Qatar Airways story. Very good. I'm an ex-Qatar Airways staff too.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Very nice. Hi, dear.
Yeah, my name is Sujit. I'm also working with Qatar Airways finance department.
Qatar Airways finance department, a lot of people from here. We have a lot of students from finance department in Qatar Airways. We are trying to automate. We are trying to move towards Power BI, and still there is a confusion between Tableau and Power BI in a couple of departments, isn't it? Okay, very good. Let's hear out from the people in the online. Aisha, can you give a quick introduction to the team, dear? Aisha, finance, both of them. So,
Hello.
Aisha. Yeah, hi, Aisha.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Go
hi.
ahead. Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Yes, myself Aisha. I'm
Yes.
from Karnataka,
Okay.
and yeah, I recently passed out from BE in computer science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome on board, dear. We also have another Aisha over here. Aisha Nistar. Aisha Nistar, would you like to introduce yourself quickly, dear, to the team? Oh my God, Aisha is not here. Okay.
Yeah, no. Actually, sorry. Yeah, my name is Nista.
Yes,
My
please.
daughter was logging into this system. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
No problem.
do you want me to introduce myself? Yeah.
In online classes, it happens. It's kind of okay. Go ahead, dear, please.
Yeah. You want me to introduce myself? This why you're asking?
Introduction, yeah, and yeah, just a simple introduction will do.
Yeah. Actually, I am working as a ERP consultant. Okay, in the field of Dynamic 365. Okay.
Hey.
Yes. Dynamic 365. I'm the technical and the functional consultant here. So I would like to look into that reporting side. That's why I am just little interesting of the knowledge of Power BI.
Very good. In fact, Power BI connects to Microsoft Dynamics online natively. We have run some projects on how we could connect Microsoft Dynamics to Power BI. Usually what people do is that they download the report from Microsoft Dynamics, keep it in Excel, and then load it into Power BI. More than things that we do in Power BI, we also need to learn what we shouldn't do. In fact, I wouldn't appreciate doing this. Why? Because you download it from Dynamics as an Excel sheet, and then again load it to Power BI. Let's say the data gets updated. you have to again download the Excel sheet. But people are not aware about the fact that Microsoft actually can connect with maybe 600 plus data sources. Even if there is an Excel sheet sent by some of your team members to your Outlook email, you can get that data inside your Power BI. Okay, so we have a lot of capabilities to connect with Microsoft Dynamics. Welcome on board, Mr. Nistar. It is our pleasure to have you over here. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome, dear. Amira, hi, dear. Are you able to hear me, Amira? Amira? Arun Ganeshan, are you able to hear me, Arun Ganeshan?
Yes, Dinesh, good evening. Yeah, I could hear you.
Yes, dear. Where are you from?
I'm joining from Oman.
Oman. Wow, great. Yes. Introduce yourself, dear.
Yeah, I'm working as a HR in Oman. I'm working here for last 13 years. So I was looking for, the simplification of my work due to the workload. I want to, as you explained, a lot of data are there. So I want to put it in a dashboard. That is a core thing I'm looking at. So just want to explore how this BA will work for me. Seems interesting.
Very good. Only if you introduce like this, we can also connect with people better. Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much, Mr. Arun Ganeshan, for introducing that. See, we have a lot of HR dashboards prepared as well. You could quickly take a look over here if this is something that you're looking at, because we had one of the solution for HR analytics where we got to look at the employee attrition count, the employee, the dates, the HR insights, the employee risk score. Maybe this is something that you're looking forward to. Employee performance and engagement dashboard. What is the headcount, diversity, hire, the employee ID by sex? You could see that there is a small visual that is kept over here to run the data between 2000. How many induction program has been done, the dates hired, the dates terminated. I think this is very popular in a firm, but I don't want to call it out. But, we got like employee risk score for each of these things and the trend. I believe something similar to this you want to prepare. Maybe you want to get a better chart than this. This is one of the work in progress HR dashboard. Very
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah, plus I'm also looking over some dashboard with respect to the recruitment.
Recruitment data. Okay. I got it.
Plus general list, whatever. These are general data that has to be acquired. Along with that, I need another dashboard which I use for recruitment also. So these are the two kind of requirements I'm looking at. So yeah, so let's see.
Easily solve that, dear, because we have specialists from HR recruitments who have prepared data sets and it's in our repository. The best part is that when you join for a training program, you come from finance department or you come from marketing department. I ask you to prepare the dashboard. Only after that, I give the certificate. This is the criteria that we have for submitting this. So all the people submitted the dashboard over a period of time. We have repository of almost data from a lot of business domains, right? So we got data from HR recruitment as well. HR recruitment has a lot of things to do with date. We will go in detail as we go in the class, Mr. Arun. Welcome on board. And we will talk later in detail about the HR recruitment data sets, how to get it in Power BI.
And by the way, when you say this about certificate, so where is the certificate from?
Dear, we are issuing the CPD accredited certificate. We provide certificates from Microsoft. We are a Microsoft authorized training partner. So as part of attending this program, in fact, I did not speak about the certificate because certificate is an outcome. Everybody will get nice certificates. There is no doubt about it. The first criteria is to make sure that we are good with the outcomes, and then we can focus on these certifications too. The certificates that you could see here is, oh my God, is this Power BI prompt? Yeah, just give me 1 minute, guys. We usually give certificates from Microsoft Power BI, from Microsoft directly with Satya Nadell signing off the certificate. It is pretty easy to navigate through the Microsoft profile and get these certificates. We'll guide the students through the certification process. So these are my certificates. So 1 minute, trainer profile updated. Yeah. So I've just put the certificate snapshot over here for your reference. The first thing is you can, as part of the complete program, you will get the certificate from Microsoft directly. This is actually a badge that you can acquire from Microsoft, and we help you to process this. This is the first thing, and it's inclusive in the training program. You will get the Microsoft badge. Along with this, what we do is we give you the certificate of accreditation from TeamAcademy, which is CPD accredited. So you will get the certificate from UK, which is actually CPD accredited from the certificate part. Clear, Mr. Arun? I can show you the template of the CPD accredited certificate too, which is qualified when you submit your dashboard. So we provide the certified master professional in AI and BI from CPD. Clear, Arun?
Yeah, it's okay. But one thing, Microsoft certificate means we will be requesting to Microsoft for the certificate. Exam will be there.
No, we will help you for this, dear. You will create a profile and we will guide you through how to get your Microsoft badges. For the CPD, when I say TeamAcademy will do the processing and get the CPD accredited certificate for you.
Okay.
This is both of them. You don't need to write exams. Okay. When you want to get the intermediate level certification PL300 from Microsoft, it's like PMP, you want to get it from Microsoft, then you will go and write the exam and get it. But for getting your CPD accredited certificate from TeamAcademy and to get the Microsoft badges, you don't have to write any exams. We will help you through the process of getting one. The only requirement I have is give your dashboard. I look at the outcome. Even though after having I've seen people getting a lot of certificates, and also they solve a lot of problems. But on the same hand, we have seen people with no certificates, but they solve too many problems, right? So outcomes is kind of very important. If you ask me, what is the outcome? Preparing the dashboard. Will it produce a certificate? Will you get the output? Yes, CPD certificate and Microsoft certificate. If you want to achieve your certification standards from Microsoft in terms of an intermediate certification, then you go for PL300 certification. Clear? That's the most of the business users sticks here. Like, let's say, for example, HR professionals and finance. CPD is it is continuous professional development organization from UK, which governs training organizations about their framework and standards for procedures, and they award the certificate from UK. So it's like a prestigious certificate from UK. Most of the training, I wouldn't say most of them, none in Qatar, but most of the international organizations, they have CPD accreditation. So we benchmark mostly with international standards like Microsoft or with CPD, so that it is accredited and it's globally accepted, right? So if you go to UK, you go to US, you go to India, if you say that it's CPD accredited, it's verifiable online and it is also authentic. It's a global credential. I will share with you more details about it. But any technical questions from anyone else who wants to introduce further? Let's say hi, Bong. Hi, would you like to give a quick introduction to the team, even though I know you better? Yes, dear.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Dinesh.
Good evening, Bong.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Bong. I'm working here in Qatar Energy.
Qatar Energy.
As the planning and scheduling engineer.
Planning and scheduling engineer. So we got one more domain to add. Very good, dear. Yes, yeah. Bong, go ahead.
And my expectation is to know the live, how to see the update live through Power BI.
Live updates.
Yeah, because what we're doing right now is to download from Excel and upload it to Power
BI. Exactly. This is not only your problem, dear. That's what I was explaining in the class. It's a problem with everyone. We download the data from Excel, try to consolidate them. There are better ways to do it. I'm just trying to collect the domain name here. Bong, yes, I do agree with that. We need to connect with the data source. May I know what is the data source, dear? Is it SAP or is it Primavera for the plan? SAP. Yeah. Okay, if it is SAP, is it SAP HANA?
No,
SAP,
not HANA.
You have specific modules in SAP, right?
Not HANA. Yeah. HANA is a new version of SAP.
Yeah.
We're working on old version of it. But,
okay. Okay, we will look into it, dear. We can connect with the SAP Business Warehouse Application Server or with the message. I think message service is not a recommended thing here. You can actually connect with the data warehousing platforms in SAP, irrespective of wherever your SAP module is saved. It will be in your data warehousing platform. We will look into the specifics, Mr. Bong. And thank you so much for joining in. And that's a good introduction from Qatar Energy Planning and Scheduling Department. Bong is our existing student. So thank you so much for joining again with us in Power BI program, dear. I will go ahead thank you, Bong. Is there anything you would like to add, dear?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dinesh. That's it.
You're welcome. And I do
Looking
see
forward to
Nasir. Sure. It is my pleasure. I do see two people have introduced in the chat. Nazir from Saudi Arabia, document controller in consultancy company in Jeddah. Welcome on board, Mr. Nasir. And I have Amira as well from IT department in Green Concrete company in again Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Nasir, you just told that you have a question. Please go ahead, dear. You can ask your question. You've raised your specific question request from the chat. Go ahead, Nasir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, dear. How about you?
Yes, I'm good. Alhamdulillah. I have actually one question. I'm working as a document controller in consultant company. We have working with this Excel sheet and different Excel sheets. So I want to connect dashboard from different, for example, 5 Excel sheets. Can I connect in one dashboard through the source of the 5 Excel sheet data?
That is actually the source of the program itself. In fact, the best part is when we work with multiple Excel sheets and connect it, that's the intention of the program. When you complete, we have some lab exercise. I'll introduce you towards the lab exercise, and I'll take you to that lab exercise. In the lab exercise, you will be working on some of the dashboards, which actually connects with multiple Excel sheets. As you could see over here, these are 7 sheets from 7 different departments, and we are trying to connect them together. More or less the question, this is the common, practical, realistic question, what we can do with Power BI. Nasir, what Nasir is asking at the end of the day, wherever I go, I get to the same question that Nasir is asking. As a common person, I wanted to make sure that there are too many Excel sheets with too many data sets, too many number of rows, and I wanted to get them together. It is very difficult for me to do VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and drag and drop every time when the data gets updated. Can I actually take the data from multiple Excel sheets and put it together? You could see here, Mr. Nasir, these are all Excel sheet data only. Okay, what we do in the class is also like Excel sheet data, but still we can also connect with other sources. What happens if you have a scenario, there is one Excel sheet and another data is saved in SharePoint? You can even connect between Excel sheet and SharePoint also, not just only between the Excel sheets. You can connect with SharePoint as well. And let's say you put 50 Excel sheets in one drive and you want to get only one dashboard. Okay, you can do it once. You can actually automate it, and the moment an Excel sheet lands inside the OneDrive, it will become part of your report. It's also possible, Nasir. We'll discuss about it in detail when we go for the deep classes. Yes, Arun, please go ahead, dear. Nasir, thank you so much. Arun, please go ahead, Arun.
I just want to understand how this data source work. I was just listening to your conversation with Mr. Bong. If we use SAP or SAP HANA and SuccessFactors, do we need to download the data from that to Excel and then we have to move it to Power BI? Or directly we can connect with S4HANA?
We can directly connect with SAP HANA or with traditional sources. That shouldn't be a problem. See, even though in the class we discuss about Excel sheets and stuff, I advise, if you're working with Excel sheets, it's good. Now he asked me a question, can I actually have 5 Excel sheets independently to connect it together? Okay. If you have 5 Excel sheet and you don't have any other sources, you're entering the data, managing the data, maintaining the data in Excel sheet. Can you connect it together? The answer is you can connect it together. In fact, we start the first class with this one. Okay. Now, if this Excel sheet is not independently managed, for example, the data is in SAP. Okay. You download the data in Excel. This data is in SharePoint. You download the data from SharePoint, and this is in your Oracle. You download the data in Oracle. Okay. then again you're repeating the same Excel story only. You can't achieve that effectiveness. Okay, effectiveness will be gone. What you could do in this scenario is, instead of downloading it in Excel sheet, rather you connect directly with those respective sources, data sources. We will show you how to connect with SharePoint, OneDrive, Outlook, email, with all the possible systems that we have within our access. But when you work with your organization, you might have access to specific sets like Dynamics ERP or with SAP HANA. At the end of the day, wherever you get the data from, it gets structured and streamlined into your Power Query. And you can start connecting between the data sets over here. Yes, Mr. Arun, pretty much this is possible, dear. You can connect directly with an SAP Business Warehouse application server and get the data. You don't want to download it in Excel and again put it in Power BI. It will create a lot of confusion. Or I would say it is like a lot of work.
Okay. So which means I can directly go to the transactions and download the data, whichever I want, and the Excel is not required.
Yes, you can connect with your transactions. You don't need to go to SAP and click on transactions. From your Power BI itself, you can connect with your SAP and download the transactions directly.
Okay. So does that require authorization or any administrator access
Yes,
from the company?
Of course, 100%. No.
Okay.
IT should give you. If you are able to view the data in your application, you should also be able to view the data in Power BI. This is a basic requirement. You can check with IT. IT should give you the permission in order to get started with this. They will give you the username, password, and authenticity to get with that. We will discuss about it in detail. We have like a lot of companies here using SAP, Oracle, or Dynamics. And almost 80% of the company is still in Excel. And even matured organization also, we are talking about these advanced data set. But when I go to big companies, I'm talking about, okay, I don't want to name it. They all again maintain it in Excel, right? And if you want to connect with Excel and SAP HANA, you can do that here. The best part is you have one data set. GL account code is in your Excel sheet. Let's say the commercial data is in your SAP. Let's say your human resource data is in your GEMS. Okay, you can actually connect all these three together and get the data set to be streamed. But the question is whether GEMS will give you access, whether Oracle will give you access, whether XYZ will give you access. IT should give you access. Then you're okay to go. Okay, Arun, thank you so much for that question. If anybody, guys, it's an interactive training program. The difference between going for a YouTube video and interactive training program is because you're not just learning Power BI, the experience from someone who has worked on different projects and the experience from the students who has practical challenges. So, we treat it as a collaborative and an interactive session. We get real good outcomes. I appreciate the question from Arun Nasir. These are real good questions. In the class, we will also have too many, we'll have many questions because when things comes into picture, we will get those questions. I had one small interpretation from Praveen. Yeah, Praveen, go ahead, dear.
No, actually, you answered that question because what I was asking is, we have to get this access from
IT, Oracle.
Is there an IT or is there an?
Yeah, there is. So your question was same like him. See, I cannot talk about what is the IT's agenda of not exposing the data for you. That is completely outside my control. And I've seen this in a couple of organizations as well. Hey, I'm able to see the data here. Can you give me the data? Wait for some time. We are developing one application that will do all the reporting. Then, no, that's a different story altogether.
My query was, now let's say I work in accounts payable, right?
Accounts payable, yeah.
And we use Oracle.
Oracle. Yeah.
So let's say I want to connect to the data of AP, right? So when I connect to the data of AP, does it mean that it is connecting to the supplier database also? It is connecting to the bank database also, all those things, or is it specific things which we need to connect?
Specific things which we need to connect. Each of these things are treated. See, let's say, for example, Oracle. Oracle already centralizes your contractor data, your bank data, your reconciliation data, AP data is stored in your Oracle. Is it stored in your Oracle?
Yes, of course, it is stored, but it wouldn't be in an Excel format, or it would be.
It can be in a view format. Right. No problem at all, dear. You can get connected with this. No issues at all. The only problem comes into picture when you have one data over here in Oracle, in your Oracle. The bank data is in the bank platform, then we cannot connect with that secured sources. Apart from that, if it is centralized in Oracle, you're good to connect. And even you can define parameters in terms of what would you specifically want to get from that data source. Maybe you don't want to load 1 million records are there. You don't want to load all the 1 million records. You want to get the summarized data. You can.
What are the outstanding?
What are the outstanding? Yeah.
What are the next due dates?
Next due dates. Yeah, the triggers for the next due dates.
Yeah, so we don't want to run every day.
We don't want to run every day. No. See, before you just came, no, I was explaining a typical case study about Qatar only, because I had this experience initially grounded up very well long time before. And then now I have also worked with a couple of case studies here. You should do it like that. That's what I will advise you. Instead of actually downloading the Oracle data in Excel and then connecting it, it is not an efficient way. You can get connected, and Oracle in QR, it's stored in on-premise database. So it's pretty easy for you to get connected. What is it, guys? I'll talk to you later. Okay. Yeah. Jakub is still there.
Sorry?
Jakub, Mohammed Jakub. Okay, we'll have a chit chat a little later.
Yeah,
Okay, very good. I would like to talk to Hussain. Hi, Hussain, Zahan. Anybody else in the class would like to ask a question?
Hello.
Yes, Hussain, please go ahead, dear.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you, Mr. Hussain?
I'm
Very
good, thanks. Actually, I have no questions. I have reviewed some courses before about Power BI, and I have adequate skills in Excel. And simply, I want to get certified and enrich my knowledge only.
Very good. Welcome on board, dear. It's our pleasure to
Thank
have you
you.
over here. Very nice. Then I do have Ms. Zahran Yasir. Can you please unmute? Can you?
Hi Dinesh, how are you? This is Zaran here. I'm from Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. I am a finance business partner in a vaccine company in Saudi Arabia. So I'm also leading the financial planning analysis department of our company as well. So we have got a task to automate things in terms of dashboard creation, KPI settings, and also monitoring the financial performance of the company.
Yeah.
So since we are working in a more dynamic organization, so the stakeholders, especially, they need more informed decision. So they want real-time data. So we need to cater this so that they can make informed decisions.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for me, to enroll in this. So I just want to know, because we currently are using SAP ECC version, not for HANA. We have a lot of constraint in the system as well because it's not configured properly. So I would like, because we plan to go for HANA next year. So with the implementation, and then so planning like how I just want to know how the data can be built in. With key metrics to be set up so that we can frequently review, and it should be automated real time, so that when you insert when you upload where you can whether data can be automatically uploaded right to a particular system.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just have to refresh so the numbers get populated automatically. This kind of requirement is there.
Okay.
So because we want to complete this before the year end, to be incorporated, to be provided to the board that we have achieved this kind of So
sure.
That's
We
one of
will
the
do
target.
That sounds quite exciting. And whatever that you spoke about, you just reiterated and demonstrated the Power BI features. Maybe I would have missed this one. This applied steps is nothing but this is like your VBA macros in Excel. Okay. When you do this activity once, then the data gets updated forever. You don't have to touch that VBA macro. It automatically runs with its rule, applies all the condition, and you would see the data populating with the latest. So
for example, like if you but when you're doing mapping, for example, when you get new products, launches and all this, so again you need to recreate the relationship, or how?
No, dear, you don't need to. Let's say, for example, you have a day, what are the typical examples that we have in Red Tag store? I have like multiple stores Every day they are sending email to reports@redtag.com. Every day they are sending 50 emails. Okay. All these 50 emails are the same template, same Excel sheet. Okay. You have only one applied step that you applied for one Excel sheet. Okay. Now what you can do is you can apply that same logic and connect it with the folder instead of connecting with the file. Then what it will do is inside the folder, whatever Excel sheet that contains the same logic, it will be automatically applied. So for example,
in this case, that means you mean that the template should be standardized.
If it is actually something about consolidation, but let's say, for example, you have a report and you want to add a new product. A new product is just another row within the column. You don't need to have, you don't need to create new connections. But yes, if the logic differs, if the purpose differs, even if you have one Excel sheet, you have 5 workbook within that, 5 worksheets within that. Each of these 5 worksheets are independent worksheets. Then you will take those independent sheet as a separate query. Okay. We will discuss about it in detail.
Yeah,
but
sure.
What I mean to say is you can even consolidate 50 Excel sheets together, or within one Excel sheet, you can actually treat each of them independently. It is purely with the objective and purpose. If they are independent and if they are not standard column across the board, go for your independent query. You need to get it independently. If it's all the same, you can just bring them together. You can append them together. As you could see here, you could append many Excel sheets together at the same time. That's pretty much possible, dear.
Okay.
Very good. This is Zahran, right? Zahran.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
You're also from finance.
Yes, finance background.
Business partner. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Very good. We could see a lot of finance people in the class, planning and scheduling, and I also see ERP people. Yep. Yasir, go ahead, dear.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Malikum salam.
Yeah, this is Yasser. I am working as the account manager at Ooredoo. Here account manager at Ooredoo, but sales, not finance.
Okay.
I don't have good relation with Excel. I never used before, just only for table, small, very, very simple table. Now I have both. I have to know about I have to be skills for visual and basic advanced Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and also to know how to preparing reports and make presentation. Yeah, I have 1 month only. 1 month only I have to do that. Yeah. So tell me, it's Power BI. It's good for me or no?
It is good for you, dear. You don't need to know Excel. I will teach you from
really. I don't know anything about the Excel.
Huh?
I don't know anything about the Excel. Just only very basic table I do.
It is okay. It is perfectly okay. I can confidently say that. Why? Because when finance people comes with expert knowledge in Excel, still I haven't seen them using that details over here. They go in a different dimension altogether.
Yeah.
Why? Because we don't learn the Excel formulas. We don't have to do anything with Excel here. What you do in Excel, very simple. In Excel, what you learn, Excel is different and Power BI is different. How? You have one number here, you have one number here, you can multiply it and you can come up with another number here.
Yeah.
Okay. But in Power BI, you can't do that. Let's say this is your metadata. This is your metadata. You will connect, you can derive KPIs between metadata and derive some formulas and functions. Let's say, for example, there is sheet 2, which has another sheet 2, or let's say data source 2. You have, let's say, the sum of value minus sum of, the sum of value is your electricity consumed. Okay.
Yeah.
You have sum of value electricity, which is planned. You can connect between 2 different sheets and subtract it as well. So when you do it in Excel, you work with independent data rows. When you work with Power BI, you work with the metadata. So it is easy for you to work with metadata because when the value gets changed, you don't have to update the formula again and again. So if you don't have Excel knowledge, I would urge you to learn Excel. There is no doubt about it. Excel is mandatory and very good and professional to deal with independent data sets. But Excel is not mandatory for you to learn Power BI. They are distinct. I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good, Yasir. And we also teach Excel as well. We have Excel basic, intermediate, and advanced program. I will ask you to contact with the person who was in touch with you for the Power BI circulation. Just reply to that message that I would also like to join for Excel. They will enroll you for that respective program. We have
okay. I will message you.
Very good. We also have Nistar. Yeah, I think everybody has given their opinion and the domain they come from. Okay, guys, it is my pleasure to talk to you all this evening. And when we get to the class, my energy level will be a little low so that it is good for you. And we'll make sure that we go step by step in terms of few things. I would not start from the sky high. Let's go ground up. Let's get started with basics. But I'll go deep into the business aspect. Like, let's say, for example, I've listed down a lot of common business problems that we face in Microsoft and we face in our organization. We go by the business to the data analytics rather than the other way around. So it is easy. This is the problem that I have, how to solve it. This is the problem that I have, how to solve it from a business side, right? Welcome on board, everyone. It is my pleasure to have you again over here. Thank you so much for that great evening to spend with me. You will be in touch with our sales admin shortly for the rest of the administrative procedures, and I'll catch up with you in the subsequent classes. Thank you so much, guys, and take care. Have a good one. See you all.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Yasir. Thank you, Fatima. Fatima Shaima, did I heard from you, dear? Maybe I would have missed. Okay. Yasir, Zahran, Bong. See you guys. Take care. Have a good one.
Take care. Take care.
Take care. See you. Oh.